Something unusual is happening in the world of weight loss. People cut sugar. People cut carbs. People skip bread, pasta, juice, and even fruit. Yet their belly fat does not move. It stays there, stubborn and unmoving, as if it has a life of its own. And here is the bold truth. Most people never hear sugar and carbs are not the true reason that belly fat sticks. They might play a role, yes, but they are not the real engine behind the problem. There is something deeper happening in the body, something far more silent, something most people never check, never think about, and never talk about. In this video, you're going to learn what that hidden driver actually is. It affects millions of men and women every single day without showing obvious symptoms. It pushes the body towards storing fat around the stomach, even when meals are small, clean, or controlled. And the most surprising part is this: you may be doing all the right things on the surface, yet your body still receives a signal to hold fat tightly around the midsection. When you understand the real trigger, everything finally makes sense. Here is why you must watch this video until the end. You are going to discover how one hormone quietly shifts your body into fat storage mode. You are going to see how stress, sleep, caffeine, work pressure, inflammation, and even modern habits you never think about can push belly fat to grow even when your diet is stable. You are going to learn why some people can eat rice, bread, or potatoes and stay lean, while others gain fat around the stomach even with smaller meals. You are going to learn why belly fat is not only a cosmetic problem, but also a health signal that your body is trying to communicate. And you are going to discover how simple daily fixes can turn this around without extreme dieting or starving yourself. There is a lesser-known fact that many people never hear from fitness influencers or trendy diet videos. Belly fat responds more to hormones than to calories. When the wrong hormone stays elevated for too long, the body behaves as if it is under threat. It stores fat around the organs for protection, no matter what you eat. That means the real reason your belly fat refuses to shrink may have nothing to do with bread, desserts, or even snacking. It may be something far more connected to your daily routine, your stress levels, and the way your body tries to keep you safe. Another hidden truth you will learn in this video is that belly fat is strongly linked to certain routines that feel normal today. Constant notifications, busy schedules, restless nights, overthinking, mild dehydration, skipping meals. These are not dramatic experiences, yet they shift your internal chemistry in ways that make belly fat grow faster. Most people do not realize how strongly these patterns shape their body. They blame carbs, blame sugar, blame age, or blame genetics, when in reality, the real cause is a chain reaction happening inside the body, slowly and quietly. Stay with this video because you will see how all these pieces connect. You will learn how stress affects insulin, how sleep affects hunger hormones, how caffeine affects cortisol, how low muscle mass affects metabolism, and why this combination can trap belly fat even during dieting. You will understand the science, but in a simple way that makes sense. And once the picture is clear, belly fat finally becomes something you can control, not something that controls you. By the end of the video, you will know the real cause of stubborn belly fat and the practical steps you can take starting today. You will know what truly matters and what does not. You will know why the diets you tried in the past failed and what you can do differently now. And you will finally understand how to work with your body, not against it. Welcome to our channel. If you want clear, simple, science-based health content that cuts through confusion, make sure to subscribe. Your support helps us create more videos that guide you toward better health, step by step. Most people think belly fat is a simple math problem. Eat fewer calories, lose more fat. Remove sugar, eat fewer carbs, shrink the waistline. But belly fat does not follow these basic rules. And that is why so many people feel stuck. The truth is that belly fat is not only about calories or food groups, it is not just about how much you eat or which foods you avoid. There is a deeper layer inside the body that decides whether fat gets stored or burned, and this layer depends on your hormones, not your plate. Your body has a set of hormones that act like internal traffic signals. They tell your cells when to store energy, when to release it, when you are stressed, when you are relaxed, when you are hungry, and when you are full. When these signals work properly, your body handles fat in a balanced, steady way. But when one key hormone becomes unbalanced, the system shifts. The body starts to store more fat around the midsection, even if your diet is not extreme or unhealthy. This change does not happen overnight. It builds quietly, often without warning signs. Research shows that this hormonal imbalance affects millions of people, yet most have no clear symptoms. They do not feel sick. They do not feel unusual. They just notice that their belly becomes the hardest place to lose fat, no matter what diet they try. They may lose weight in their face, arms, or legs, but the stomach stays the same. That stubborn pattern is not caused by sugar or carbs alone. It is driven by a hormonal signal telling the body to protect fat near the organs. This imbalance can be triggered by daily pressures, disrupted sleep, long work hours, emotional tension, or even the way your body responds to common foods. It makes the body behave as if it needs extra energy stored in the belly, even when there is no real danger. And because this shift happens internally and silently, people keep blaming their diet, unaware that the real cause is happening inside their system long before they see it on the scale. There is one hormone that plays a central role in stubborn belly fat, and it is called cortisol. Cortisol is often known as the stress hormone, and for good reason. It is released when your body feels pressure, danger, or any kind of demand. In short bursts, cortisol is completely normal. It helps you stay alert, handle challenges, and recover after stressful moments. The problem begins when stress does not switch off. When the body stays under pressure for long periods, cortisol remains elevated all day, and that is when the trouble starts. Long-term stress can come from many places: work deadlines, family responsibilities, financial worries, constant notifications. Even poor sleep can count as stress because your body treats exhaustion as a threat. When these stress triggers repeat daily, cortisol climbs higher and stays high for hours, sometimes for the entire day. The body responds by shifting into a mode designed for survival, not fat loss. High cortisol sends a very specific message to your cells: hold energy, store fat, keep reserves close to the organs. This is why belly fat grows more quickly than fat in other areas. The body believes it needs a quick source of energy for protection, so it stores fat around the stomach, liver, and intestines. This is a biological survival strategy from the past, but in modern life, it becomes a stubborn fat problem that feels impossible to move. What surprises many people is that this process happens even when their diet is fine. You can eat clean meals and still struggle with belly fat if cortisol stays high. You can reduce sugar, cut carbs, and follow a plan, yet the body may continue holding fat tightly because it is receiving a hormonal signal to prepare for danger. The body is not trying to sabotage you, it is trying to protect you based on the information it is getting from your stress levels. This is why many people feel confused when dieting does not change their waistline. The issue is not the food alone, it is the constant pressure that keeps cortisol active throughout the day. For years, many people have been told that sugar and carbs are the main reason belly fat appears. It sounds simple, so it becomes easy to believe, but the truth is far more complex. Carbs on their own do not cause belly fat. They provide energy, support the brain, fuel the muscles, and help the body function. Many people around the world eat rice, bread, fruit, or potatoes every day and stay lean without any struggle. If carbs alone were the problem, entire populations would be dealing with severe belly fat issues, yet they are not. This shows that the story is not about the food itself, but about how the body reacts to it. What truly matters is your hormonal environment. When hormones are balanced, your body uses carbs effectively. It burns them for energy, stores just a small amount when needed, and keeps the rest moving through your system. But when cortisol is high, the body behaves differently. The same meal that would be harmless on a normal day becomes a storage signal under stress. The body reads high cortisol as a sign of danger, and it begins to store fat more aggressively, especially around the midsection. This storage pattern is not about the carbs. It is about the message your hormones are sending. Under high cortisol, even normal meals can lead to fat storage. You could eat a modest plate of rice, a small serving of pasta, or a few pieces of fruit, and the body may still push extra energy into belly fat because it is trying to prepare for a threat that does not actually exist. This is why some people feel puzzled when they cut carbs, but still see belly fat grow or stay the same. Their diet changes, but their hormonal signal does not. The stress response keeps the body in storage mode, so even low-carb meals do not create the changes they expect. The key is the internal state, not the specific food on the plate. Modern life creates the perfect environment for high cortisol, and most people do not even notice it happening. The day begins with pressure before you even take your first step. Work demands pile up. Messages arrive before breakfast. Deadlines, responsibilities, and constant decisions push the body into a state of tension. This steady pressure keeps cortisol rising because the body believes it needs to stay alert for long periods. Even when the tasks are normal, the accumulation of stress signals keeps the body on edge. Poor sleep adds another layer to the problem. When you do not sleep well, even for a single night, cortisol rises the next day. The body treats lack of rest as a threat. It assumes you are in danger and need extra energy stored. Over time, this repeated pattern makes your stress response more sensitive. You may wake up tired, and your body instantly shifts into a state of alertness as if something is wrong. This alone can keep cortisol high for hours. Another factor is constant phone use. Checking notifications, scrolling through social media, reacting to messages, and switching between apps keeps the mind active at all times. Even if it does not feel stressful, the brain receives a continuous flow of stimulation. The body interprets this as non-stop mental engagement, and that can raise cortisol throughout the day. The nervous system never gets a break, so the stress hormone never gets a clear signal to settle. Emotional stress also plays a major role. Arguments, worries about money, concerns about family, or even overthinking small events can activate the same hormonal response as physical danger. The body does not separate emotional stress from real threats. It responds with elevated cortisol either way, preparing you to fight or escape, even if the only thing happening is an uncomfortable thought. Caffeine can also lift cortisol. One cup may be fine, but multiple cups or energy drinks can push the system into overdrive. Caffeine triggers alertness by stimulating cortisol and adrenaline. When consumed often, especially during stressful days, it keeps the stress response active for much longer than expected. Another trigger comes from irregular meals. Skipping meals or going long hours without eating causes blood sugar to fall. The body reacts by releasing cortisol to bring blood sugar back up. This creates a cycle where stress and hunger amplify each other. Each of these factors may seem small on its own, but together They form a daily pattern that keeps cortisol elevated far beyond normal levels. There are several hidden factors that contribute to belly fat, and research shows they affect people more than most realize. One of the biggest factors is low muscle mass. Muscle is one of the most active tissues in the body. It burns energy even when you are resting. When muscle levels drop, metabolism slows down. The body uses fewer calories throughout the day, and fat becomes easier to store, especially around the stomach. This can happen with aging, long hours of sitting, or not doing any kind of strength activity. When the body loses muscle, it becomes far more likely to gain belly fat, even without major changes in diet. Another hidden factor is insulin resistance. Many people think this condition is caused only by eating carbs, but the real picture is more complex. Stress, poor sleep, and irregular routines can make insulin less effective. When insulin does not work well, the body struggles to move sugar into the cells, so it turns more of it into fat. Belly fat is the most common place for this storage to happen. People who experience frequent stress or broken sleep often develop insulin resistance even if they do not eat large amounts of sugar. Inflammation is another problem that quietly contributes to belly fat. A combination of processed foods, stress, poor quality oils, and lack of recovery time creates low-grade inflammation inside the body. When the body is inflamed, it shifts into a protective mode. It stores more fat around the organs to shield them from internal stress. This is why belly fat becomes more persistent when the diet is filled with refined snacks, fried foods, or ingredients that irritate the digestive system. Gut health also plays a significant role. When digestion is weak or the balance of gut bacteria is disrupted, it can interfere with hormones that control hunger, stress, and fat storage. Poor gut function can raise cortisol, increase cravings, and trigger bloating that makes belly fat look even more pronounced. Over time, these issues create a cycle where hormone signals become confused, and the body continues storing fat around the midsection. Fixing belly fat from the root means helping the body return to balance. It means lowering stress signals, improving hormonal responses, and supporting metabolism in a natural way. The most effective changes are not extreme or complicated. They are small habits that shift the body out of survival mode and back into a state where fat can be released instead of stored. One of the most powerful steps is getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. When you sleep well, cortisol drops, insulin works better, hunger hormones stay steady, and the body repairs itself. Poor sleep does the opposite, so improving rest becomes a key step in reducing belly fat. Even going to bed slightly earlier can make a difference. Daily walking for 10 to 20 minutes also has a strong impact. Walking lowers stress, improves blood flow, supports digestion, and helps the body burn mild amounts of fat without strain. It is simple, gentle, and easy to maintain. Over time, these short walks help regulate blood sugar and improve hormone balance. Eating protein at each meal supports muscle, keeps you full longer, and reduces cravings that come from unstable blood sugar. Protein also helps rebuild muscle, which boosts metabolism and makes the body burn more calories throughout the day. Just adding a steady source of protein can shift the body away from storing fat and toward using it for energy. Reducing caffeine late in the day is another supportive habit. Caffeine raises cortisol, and when consumed in the afternoon or evening, it can keep the stress response active for hours. Cutting down on late caffeine allows your body to wind down properly, bringing cortisol back into a healthier range. Taking a few minutes of deep breathing or quiet time before bed helps calm the nervous system. When the mind settles, cortisol drops, and the body transitions into a more restful state. This small routine prepares your system for better sleep and smoother hormone activity. Strength training 2 to 3 times a week builds muscle, increases metabolic rate, and improves insulin sensitivity. Even short sessions help the body shift away from fat storage and toward energy use. Combined with daily movement, strength work supports long-term fat reduction. Eating whole foods most of the time supports gut health, reduces inflammation, and provides steady energy. Whole foods give the body nutrients it needs without overwhelming it with additives or processed ingredients. These choices help keep hormones stable, digestion smooth, and cortisol lower throughout the day. When it comes to belly fat, many people focus only on what they eat. They cut sugar, reduce carbs, skip desserts, and count calories. But these steps alone rarely solve the problem. Belly fat is not caused by sugar or carbs by themselves. The body's response to food is controlled by hormones. And when hormones are imbalanced, fat tends to accumulate around the midsection regardless of diet. Simply restricting certain foods cannot override the signals that tell the body to store fat. The real driver behind stubborn belly fat is stress-driven cortisol imbalance. Cortisol, the hormone released during stress, tells the body to hold on to energy and store fat, especially around the stomach and organs. When cortisol stays elevated for long periods, the body acts as if it is in a constant state of alert, even if there is no real danger. Work stress, poor sleep, emotional tension, caffeine, and modern lifestyle habits all contribute to keeping cortisol high. This makes the belly a primary storage site for energy, and even healthy meals can be redirected toward fat storage under high cortisol conditions. Understanding this is key because it explains why many diets fail and why some people gain belly fat despite eating carefully. Other hidden factors can intensify the problem. Low muscle mass slows metabolism, making it easier for fat to accumulate. Insulin resistance caused by stress and poor sleep also encourages fat storage. Inflammation from processed foods, stress, or lifestyle habits further signals the body to hold fat around the midsection. Even gut health plays a role, as poor digestion can disrupt hormones and make belly fat harder to reduce. Each of these elements works quietly but powerfully behind the scenes, creating a perfect environment for belly fat to persist. The most effective approach is to address the root causes: improving sleep, managing stress, adding daily movement, including strength training, eating balanced protein-rich meals, reducing late caffeine, and focusing on whole foods can lower cortisol, improve insulin function, and support metabolism. When the body's internal environment changes, fat storage decreases, and the stubborn belly begins to shrink naturally. Understanding the hormonal and lifestyle drivers behind belly fat is the first step to finally regaining control. If this video helped you understand why belly fat sticks and what really drives it, go ahead and give it a like. It really helps us know that this information is useful to you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more simple science-based health videos that cut through the confusion and give you clear, practical advice. Try one tip from today's video tonight. Maybe focus on getting better sleep, taking a short walk, or adding protein to your meal, and notice how your body responds. Little changes like these can make a big difference over time, and this is the first step toward finally taking control of stubborn belly fat.